Thomas and the Trucks. Thomas used to grumble in the sheds all night. He'd usually keep the other engines awake.
"I'm tired of pushing coaches," he would say. "I want to see the world."
The other engines didn't take much notice, but Thomas was a little engine with a long tongue. But one night, Edward delivered a goods train from his station and came to the shed. He was a kind little engine and felt sorry for Thomas. "I've got some trucks to take home tomorrow," he said. "If you take them instead of me, I'll push the coaches in the yard."
"Oh, thank you,"
said Thomas.
"That will be nice."
Next morning, Edward and Thomas asked their drivers, and when they said, "Whoa, yes, whoa, yes," Thomas ran off happily to find trucks, while Edward went off to shunt the coaches. Now trucks are silly and noisy. They talk a lot and don't attend to what they're doing. They don't listen to their engine, and I'm sorry to say they play tricks on one they are not used to. And when the engine is so rough with them, they have the urge to make them a runaway and throw them off the line. Edward knew all about trucks. He warned Thomas to be careful, but Thomas was too excited to listen. While Thomas was shunting his train, he was too excited to realize how rough he was with the trucks.
"Oh, oh, 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 oh," they cried. "Whatever is happening?"
After Thomas finished shunting his train, the shunter fastened the coupling. The signal dropped, the points were set, and Thomas was ready. The guard blew his whistle, Thomas answered back, and started off. Or at least he tried to. The trucks were already feeling pleased, until Thomas had begun to move.
No, "Come on,"
said Thomas, as they slowly pulled out of the sidings onto the main line. Thomas was happy.
Come along,"
He said to the trucks. All right. They rushed through the countryside and rushed through the tunnel where Henry had been shut up. Thomas would also show off to the other engines, saying,
"Look, I'm pulling some trucks."
The others were surprised to see a little tank engine pull a heavy goods train. They tried to warn him to be careful, but Thomas didn't listen. Meanwhile, with the trucks, they were planning how to get back to Thomas. "We'll do it at the hill," said the front truck. "Pass the word to the others." The silly trucks giggled along the way. Then they passed a station where there would be a drop after, to the other station where Thomas had to drop off the trucks. There was a sign that read, "All trains stop to pin down brakes." Thomas's driver saw the sign and said, "Steady now, Thomas, steady," and began to shut off the steam and apply the brakes.
We're stopping,"
called Thomas, but the trucks answered back.
No, we need to hurry.
And they bumped into each other. And before the driver could stop them, they had pushed Thomas down the hill and were rattling and laughing behind them. Poor Thomas tried hard to stop them from making them go too fast.
Stop pushing!
He hissed, but the trucks took no notice.
Let's go.
Thomas was glad when they reached the bottom of the hill.
Now how do I stop?
Then they saw the place in front where they had to stop.
Oh dear, what should I do?
They rattled through the station, and luckily the line was clear, and they swerved into the goods yard. Thomas's driver slammed on the brakes, and Thomas shut his eyes tight.
I must stop!
When he opened his eyes, He saw that he had stopped just in front of the buffers. The trucks were feeling very pleased with themselves, and Thomas was about to start shouting at them when there watching him was the fat director. Thomas, what are you doing here,
I've brought Edward's trucks for him, sir,
said Thomas. Oh, and why did you come so fast?
I didn't mean to. I was pushed.
Pushed? Haven't you pulled trucks before?
Well, I did back in the day, but...
But you have a lot to learn about trucks, Thomas. They're silly things that must be kept in their place. You can shunt here now for a while, and after pushing them about for a few weeks, you might know as much about them as Edward. Then you'll be a really useful engine.